Hello and welcome to episode 16 of the Bowman Color Team Sets, where we take a look at the cards that comprise each team in the Bowman set and see what they were up to during the 1953 season. It's our final episode of this series, so today we're going to take a closer look at the world champions from 1953, those New York Yankees. Later on, we're going to get into Mickey Mantle's most famous home run with a little help from Terry from TJ Maxx Vintage Cards. But before we get to that, let's take a look at the cards themselves. So first up, we've got the Scooter, Phil Rizzuto, who in 1953 had a .271 average with 54 RBIs and 71 walks. He also had 21 doubles. Here's Vic Rashi. He was 13-6 in 1953 with a 3.33 ERA. He had 7 complete games and 76 strikeouts. Here's the first of a couple multiplayer cards, generally considered to be some of the first of their kind by any card company. I'm still wondering what Bear is doing with his hands here. So here's the Mick, one of the most famous cards in this set and the focus of our video today. He had a .295 average in 1953, 21 home runs, 92 RBIs, 79 walks, a .497 slugging percentage. Gil McDougall, this is an unsung player for the Yankees, and this is actually one of my favorite Yankee cards in this set. Ali Reynolds, the Super Chief, 13-7 with a 3.41 ERA, 5 complete games, and 86 strikeouts. Hank Bauer, I always think of YouTuber Joey Brings It when I see this card. This is a classic card, it's one of his favorites, it's one of mine too. As Joey would say, it's 100% vintage all day long. Another multiplayer card, Phil Rizzuto and Billy Martin. You had to deal with these two guys up the middle when you faced the Yankees in the 1950s. Here's a great Billy Martin card featuring a rare smile on his face. Looks like that ball's been lying there for a while. You better pick it up and throw it to first, Billy. Yogi Berra was a beast at the plate in 53. He had a .296 average, 27 home runs, 108 RBIs, and a .523 slugging percentage. Jim Breidweiser. Jim had more of a career later. Didn't get much of a chance to contribute to the Yankees, being a middle infielder. I always say you can be a Hall of Famer or a player that no one's heard of, but if you're in this set, you're a king no matter what. Finally, Whitey Ford, 18-6 with a 3.00 ERA. This is my favorite Whitey Ford card by far. And so there you have it, the complete Bowman Color Team set of the New York Yankees. So in my search for stories from the Yankees' 1953 season, I came across a great Sabre article by Gregory Wolfe that highlights Mickey Mantle's Herculean moment in the spring of 1953.
The Mick hit a lot of bombs in his day. There are the missiles he shot off the Yankee facade in 1956 and again in 1963. But arguably his most legendary homer came against Chuck Stobbs and the Washington Senators at Griffith Stadium on April 17, 1953. Mantle was in his 3rd season that year, and in a lot of ways was still in the process of becoming Mickey Mantle. The moment came in the top of the 5th inning when Mantle stepped to the plate. Griffith was a pitcher-friendly park. The left field foul pole was at 405 feet, followed by a grandstand that extended another 65 feet before the Bohemian beer ad, which was prominent in the left field stands. The ad featured a cartoon mascot, Mr. Bo, who declared, "Oh boy, what a beer." Mantle stepped in, batting right-handed against the southpaw Stobbs. With Yogi Berra on second and the count 1 ball and no strikes, Mantle swung at a fastball, and it went places. By all accounts, it was a line drive bullet that quickly screamed its way out of the park. The blast cleared the left center field fence and clipped the 55-foot-high Mr. Bow sign before disappearing from view. Up in the press box of Griffith Stadium, Yankees PR director Red Patterson yelled out to no one in particular, "That one's got to be measured." Patterson made his way out of the ballpark and down into the streets, where he finally found a 10-year-old boy holding a baseball. His name was Donald Dunaway, and he had tracked down Mantle's missile. Dunaway showed Patterson where he had seen the ball land, and Red began pacing the distance to the outside wall of the stadium. Using some good old-fashioned reckoning, Patterson factored in the dimensions of the park from home plate to where the ball allegedly landed, and he figured the ball traveled 565 feet. After the famed homer began to become national news, Mantle and Patterson were photographed holding a tape measure in honor of the legendary moment, even though no tape measure had been used that day at Griffith Stadium. The tape measure home run soon became part of the baseball lexicon. They even made a baseball card featuring Mickey's DC Dinger from '53. But it's what Mantle did in a later at-bat in that same game that says a lot about what kind of ball player he really was. Mickey batted again in the ninth and tried to get things started by beating out a drag bunt towards second base. Sure, Mantle could bash the ball, but he also knew how to bunt, how to make things happen in a game. He could beat you in a lot of different ways, and through it all, he tried to put the team first. That's part of Mantle's greatness.
So that about does it for the final episode of the Bowman Color Team Sets. I want to send out a special thanks to my buddy Terry from TJ Maxx Vintage Cards for lending his voice to this episode. If you're not subscribed to Terry, write that wrong and click on his channel link below. So that's it, guys. To be honest with you, this series was a hell of an undertaking. It took a couple years to complete, mostly because I dragged my feet about it, but I'm just glad to have gotten through it and to have shared this experience with all of you, and I'm definitely grateful for all of you watching, commenting, and even contributing to some of these episodes. If you haven't seen some of the other ones, click through to the playlist linked below and have some fun. I put a lot of effort into these over the years, so pick a team. Maybe it's your team or a team that you're interested in, and see a little bit of what they were up to in 1953. You might even pick up on some YouTuber cameos, and of course, just the overall enjoyment of looking at some beautiful Bowman color cards. So one last time for this series. Thanks as always, guys, for checking out the video. Look forward to the discussions that follow. Take care, and I'll talk to y'all soon.